And the idea that a woman raising her voice in anger like she's not a human being, all of a sudden that means that's disrespectful is a wild concept to me. We are human beings. If my woman starts screaming and yelling, that is a sign to me to pay attention to see what's actually happening, what she's going through. Why is she so emotional that she is screaming and yelling? And understand that the screaming and yelling is just an emotion. It doesn't mean the person's actually disrespectful towards me at all.
I think I'm pretty surprised at most people's takes tonight when we look at what's really going on. And people, what we're talking about, what we're really talking about is peace, right? We're pretty much referring to the clip, to the question. The question was presented from that clip, and in that clip you could see how we were trying to, well, I guess the narrator was trying to make an attempt to turn what should be recognized as peace into coddling, and I think that's problematic. And what I can say for sure, no strike against Bo, but women who typically speak like that are perpetual singles, right? So when men, and Darwin, I'm actually surprised that you too, as a avid Bible thumper, that you would bring it up in a transactional form, which every relationship is transactional. But to say that a woman should change her tone based on how much you are providing, I think that's wicked. I don't think that there should be any deviation from the hierarchy, particularly with respect. I don't think that any woman, Sharon, I mean, as far as tone, there's always got to be respect there. There is no such thing as screaming. There is no such thing as screaming. You can't have a woman that ever fixes her lips to scream at you. That's just a no-no. And you're not supposed to tolerate it. You shouldn't have to put up with that on any occasion. There should always be a baseline respect. It's intolerable. And that's pretty trash for people to feel like that's acceptable. It's not. No one should accept it. What does Proverbs 21:19 say? It's better to dwell in the wilderness than with the contentious and angry woman. And that's straight from the Bible. And plenty of us up here do follow that scripture. So when men want peace, they just want someone who is not going to be disrespectful, someone who's not going to be nagging them on a daily basis. And that's what we see sometimes. That's what men are talking about. There is no baseline level of respect. Women think that they can talk you crazy anyway. What happened, Sharon? You got a headache?
I think it's when you were saying the anger of woman, right? That's her being angered all the time. But nagging is because she keeps telling you something over and over. A man consider that nagging once he's been told something over and over and over, but they forget the part they ain't never did the thing that she keeps asking for over and over and over again. So if you'd have did it the first time she said, hey, whatever the thing is, she would not nag. And the idea that a woman raising her voice in anger like she's not a human being, all of a sudden that means that's disrespectful is a wild concept to me. We are human beings. If my woman starts screaming and yelling, that is a sign to me to pay attention to see what's actually happening, what she's going through. Why is she so emotional that she is screaming and yelling? And understand that the screaming and yelling is just an emotion. It doesn't mean the person's actually disrespectful towards me at all. But it is a time for me to really focus in and solve the issue at hand.
We know why she's disrespectful towards you, because you tolerate it. That's why. Because if you let your woman scream at you, you train her to be disrespectful towards you. No woman who respects her man will scream and yell at him because she knows better.
Are you saying that you don't actually recognize that as disrespect? Is that what you're saying today? You want to go on record saying that?
Screaming is not disrespectful now.
So if a strange man screamed in your face, what would you do?
We're not talking about strangers.
Yes, we are. We're talking about screaming.
No, we're talking about somebody that I actually know who's the person that I'm with. So if normally 9 out of 10 times my woman is quiet as kept and we have no problems, the moment she's screaming, that is just like when you drive in your car, you have a flashing light. That means, hey, pay attention to me. I'm not going to say, hey, you disrespectful ass car, why your check engine light is on?
Sharon, Sharon, you're adding context that wasn't there before. So you're saying that this is a woman who's always polite and never screams, but this one time she ends up screaming. Of course, that's a red flag of like what's going on. But that's context that
why would you assume that because somebody is screaming that they do it all the time?
Because you said tone doesn't matter. So if tone doesn't matter, then people would operate in their life like tone does not matter.
The reason why the tone doesn't matter in your relationship is because you need to pay attention to the words that are being used.
No, you mean
not the emotion part. Because when somebody's screaming and yelling, that is the emotion to listen to me, pay attention to me. I'm being neglected. Why are we acting as if that screaming and yelling doesn't mean that I am going through something I'm not being paying attention to?
I think what's being confused.
So you think if your woman yelling at you, she's respecting you?
There's a difference between anger and disrespect. I think whenever a woman is screaming because of a problem that you're causing, she's just angry. But we're thinking of as disrespect. Or what if you're pissing on the toilet seat over and over? I would argue that you're being disrespectful if she had to constantly tell you not to do it and then you continue to do it. And she's yelling out of anger. She's not trying to disrespect you. She's just trying to your point on that, she's just trying to get your attention and let you know that, hey, you keep doing the same thing. She's not, you got to understand escalation. It's the first time she probably told you it was the right tone. But the second or third or fourth or fifth time, come on, obviously it's going to escalate if you keep repeating. That's not just in relationships. That's all things. Even at work, even at school. If the school teacher got to keep telling you to sit down, her tone is going to change. It's not her disrespecting you. She's trying to get your attention and say, hey, look, I really mean it. She don't really think you're taking her serious. So she's trying to create a sense of urgency and you being more empathetic and having courtesy for the other person in your household. It's not a matter of disrespect. It's just responding with anger.
So Darwin, do you understand how when people thought Sharon checkmated me by asking me that question, they're just being stupid? Of like, oh, what if she said it over and over again? Well, yeah, she can,
I don't think nobody thought he checkmated you. I think you might have thought he did.
No, I know there's people in the comments saying, oh, you contradicted yourself because they stupid. This is the problem when you're smarter than other people. Not you, Sharon. But when you're smarter than other people and you have to live in this society with other people who you have to like explain basic concepts to, it's very annoying, right? And I think it's rude also for me to have to explain stuff to you that you should understand. But escalation, if a woman is telling you something over and over and over again, now it's more reasonable that her tone changes. However, even with my kids, right? I never want to be disrespectful and raise my voice at my kids unless I have to. But sometimes, as a parent, you have to escalate sometimes. But you should always give the respect that you want from your kids because you want to raise them to be people who are respectful people. So you talk to your kids and you teach them that tone matters.
Well, and I want to address Trev real quick about the Bible thing. I wasn't referencing the Bible, and I'm just referencing common courtesy and privilege. I really believe if you have because I've had this argument so many times where guys are making them women, they're depending on their women's paycheck to support the family. They're making them women work, and then they're expecting her to also tidy the house. And if you're pissing on a toilet seat, you don't get to piss on a toilet seat and say, hey, clean it up, when she's also bringing in resources. So you should be also cleaning the fucking toilet seat if she got to bring 50% to the table. I think if you using a Bible, a man was a provider. And the woman she worked for her man. She worked for the household, the last name. Women are now going to go work for somebody else's last name, and somebody else is her boss. But I'm talking about a situation where you are the provider. You have a little bit more runway because a woman is going to tolerate more, and the women can vouch. The women tend to tolerate more whenever you're taking care of the entire household and financial resources, and she tend to tolerate less if she got to go work and bring the bag back in the household. It's just typical. It's not that I made up or tried to pull out of my ass. This is what I talk about when I say that men get the leftovers from their women. Like, this shit is so annoying. These men get the leftovers as if a woman doesn't yell at her boss. She doesn't yell at her father. Why would you think we're going to tolerate her yelling at us?
Hold on. We got to pick one, guys.
Hold on. So
Well,
if women have a really bad habit of giving men the leftovers.
Hold on.
Yeah, and I'm not going to yield.
Saying that
I'll be
JR
quiet.
said, let the women say something. I was trying to say something. So, but I'm going to be peaceful and put your needs before mine. Go ahead, Dr. Williams.
So I don't understand like why y'all think it's okay for a woman to yell at her husband, but she does yell at her boss. She won't yell at her coworker. She doesn't yell at her father. And that's why I keep telling y'all, a lot of women who are single and think this way, and this is why you're single, because you think that you're going to be able to get with the man and give him the leftovers of your respect, the leftovers of your tolerance, the leftover of your kindness, and the leftovers of your femininity, just because you have to go do an adult thing and work. So unless we're going to start penalizing men and then giving credit to men who don't have their women paying bills, if that's the conversation y'all want to have, y'all can't. That means you can't talk shit to Mont, you can't talk shit to me, you can't talk shit to Darwin, you can't disagree with Trev. If that's what we're gonna go off of, because if that's the case, then for those of us who actually can take their women out the workforce, and we have that ability, we deserve more respect than the niggas that can't. The niggas that you guys keep dating, and the niggas that you guys keep having children by. So if that's the logic that we want to use, I'm here for it. But just make sure I'm saying you don't talk out both sides of your mouth when we actually had this conversation going forward.
Hey, you forgot one thing, Willie. The man that has to go provide 50%. He don't yell at his boss either.
Who doesn't?
The man don't yell at the man that got to go work and bring the 50%. He don't yell at his boss just as much as the woman don't yell at her boss.
One thing that I know about the workforce,
yell at each other.
One thing that we both know about the workforce, Darwin, is that two men at work will have a screaming match and shit go back to being just what it was. Eventually he'll pull rank and be like, because I said so, but you still not doing that. A woman's not doing that with her boss.
Aaron, why you disagree, man?